Hello?
Hello, is it okay if we come tour your classroom?
Yeah, come on in. Welcome to 938.
Very nice classroom. So what was your approach to decorating?
I guess my vibe is eclectic nerd, I guess would be the vibe. My son gave me that J. Cole poster, and then I've got Kendrick and Frank kind of looking at each other. And then I just try to get, lots of my interest out there really, just to kind of humanize myself to my students so that we can make this a safe environment where they trust me and we can actually get some real learning going.
Okay, what is one classroom trend that is overrated and underrated in your opinion? And also, what is your classroom ick?
Ooh, okay. Classroom trend that is overrated is strict late work policies that create a sense of responsibility, which it just doesn't. It just inequitably it kills kids' grades and makes them hate school. And then that's underhyped, I would actually say AI. Like, I think the power of AI as a thought partner, learning tool, it's incredible. And I don't think we've even remotely begun to tap into what that can do for our students.
Is it cool if we walk to your desk and you can show us a little bit about what you do with AI?
Sure. So this is a very long prompt that I built for my students with the help of AI. It's actually like a page and a half long, and it's going to create an elaboration tutor. So I post this, and then I ask my students, copy and paste the whole thing, and then go throw it into ChatGPT or Claude, and it becomes an elaboration tutor. So it says, welcome to the elaboration conversation. Let's play. What topic are you interested in? So give me your topic. So I'll say Los Angeles Lakers. And then it goes, here we go, I've got a claim for you. The Lakers have played a major role in shaping the identity and culture of professional basketball. And then it gives me an actual quote, which I asked it to do this with the citation. So now it's my turn to elaborate. So it gives me and I've been doing this for years, scaffolding writing instruction in that way, where I will kind of isolate a particular skill. Like an elaboration is the most difficult, I think, to teach and for kids to master. So I'll sometimes give them a claim and a piece of evidence, but now with ChatGPT, I can personalize it. So now I have 36 kids writing to a topic that they actually care about and are interested in.
Can you give us a little bookcase tour?
Yeah, so these are all mainly like student reading. I'm really big on literature circles, or AKA book clubs. So getting kids, I almost curate a list of books. So I give them a list of like high interest young adult books with some other more adult books mixed in. Like Tuesdays with Morrie is a really big hit with my students usually. And some nonfiction, like Atomic Habits is very popular with my students right now. But then I have books like The Fault in Our Stars, which is great book. More like young adult stuff. And then we make reading a culture. Like I sit in front, I read with them. I talk about my book, we get them to talk. There are no assignments, which is the trick. They're waiting for a book report so they can go ask ChatGPT. But I do no assignments whatsoever. And what ends up happening is I get like 95% of the students to all finish a book and usually move on to a second or third book. I had to go out on a big surgery to repair my entire leg. And the students threw me a big party, and I just thought it was like, wow, I was like crying about it. It's the connection with the kids. I mean, to me, that's what it's all about. Childhood cancer survivor in my teenage years, and my teachers were pivotal in my life and getting me through that time, but also showing me what I was capable of in the aftermath. And so I went off and got a business degree, got a great job in business, but felt very unfulfilled and thought about teaching. And I'm so glad I gave it a try. I absolutely love it. Not that it doesn't come with its challenges, because it does. Many, many, many years I questioned returning over the summer. Almost every summer, I would think, and it all came down to societal pressures, like that I should do more or something, and monetary pressures of having a family. I mean, those two big things really, really would weigh on me every year. Like, I could probably go and do this and make a lot more money and blah, blah, blah. I am so grateful I stuck this out. I am so grateful. Speaking to young teachers, it only gets better. The first couple years are so hard, they're so hard, and you don't know what you're doing, and you think you know what you're doing. That's the other hard part, because you were in school your whole life. So you think, well, I know how to do this. But I would say stay humble. I mean, being humble is so important. Stay humble and keep being open to learn.
Where in the classroom is your go-to teaching spot?
My go-to teaching spot is basically right here. So I don't really use this podium. I feel like this is just kind of for show every once in a while, but really this is it. So I am right here, and I've got you know, my myth book, and I've got my iPad, which is hooked up here. And then I like to be at their level. I think it really helps in terms of engagement. So if I'm gonna have them silent read, for instance, from their independent reading books for like 10 minutes, I'm right here reading. You know, I think that's really important actually. I'm not at my computer grading, even though I want to. I'm reading over here. So much of teaching is like comedy. I mean, it's all about timing. I mean, when I started my career, I was horrible at it. When I started my career, I was watching the clock and thinking about the lesson plan and my meeting where I'm supposed to be on the lesson plan, and was not paying attention to the kids. And that was probably what really, I think, pushed my teaching next level, was when I started really just paying attention to the room and then adjusting on the fly as much as possible.
Could you stand up and give us your best stand-up comedic act talking about the funniest thing that's ever happened in a classroom of yours?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. Well, this was by accident, I guess, but like, and this was kind of years ago, so this is dating me. But I did not know what this slang term meant. So it was Friday, and I told the kids they'd done a great job that week and worked so hard. And I was like, so you know what you guys should all do this weekend? You should all go home and Netflix and chill. Let's go. And they were like, no, Mr. Cuny. And I was like, what? I'm gonna Netflix and chill. I plan to Netflix chill all weekend. And they're like, Mr. Cuny, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that. And I'm like, what do you mean? But I do know sometimes if I know some slang that they don't think I know, I'll like drop that in every once in a while. I'll be like, you guys turned in a grip of late work, and they'll be like, oh, what did you just say, you know? But this is my Nerf hoop. This was actually a gift from a couple students because the other one broke. They tore it down by dunking on it too hard. So they gave me a new one. So yes, I allow the Nerf hoops in here every once in a while. It's fun, and again, I'm paying it forward in terms of their engagement later because they like being in here. One of my students made this for me. I love this quote. I think so much of the way I try to run my classroom is centered around this kind of mantra. You know, that we should be able to entertain a thought without having to accept it. You know, and I worry lately with, you know, just the polarization of news and social media that we've kind of lost that nuance, and people aren't really into entertaining thoughts outside of our algorithm, you know. And so I really try to lead with that. That's kind of like a mantra I point to all the time in this class. There's the bell. Okay, I tell you one thing that I really was one of my favorite things. See that Dead Poets Society poster over there in the corner? I did have a kid last semester jump on the desk on the last day and say, "Oh, Captain, my Captain." And that was one of the coolest moments of my entire teaching career. And then wrote me an incredible letter. So, but see, those are the things, like, I don't think anybody else gets that in their job, you know? I mean, that I get to come in here and read cool stories with kids and talk about life and get them to open their minds and think and truly change as people, and then to build those connections with them, you know? So I know it can be uncomfortable to be vulnerable to your students and maybe kind of open up in that way, but that's where the gold is. I mean, that's where the best stuff happens. Those little stories that you'll remember for the rest of your career are the stories of the kid that you helped, that you opened up with. I mean, that's been my experience.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story, Mr. Cuny. And will you tell us to get out with your best stern teacher look?
All right. I don't have one. I guess I do. I take it back. I do. I have a very hard no. So it's like when the kids ask to go to the bathroom like every day in the last 8 days, it's like, no.
Woo, I'm getting out of here.
All right, bye you guys.